Hey, it's the Brothership.
What's up, everybody?
Back once again. I'm Brian.
Brent here. How you doing?
How's everybody doing this evening? It's Thursday.
Is this episode 4? This is episode
Episode 4. Is that what I said?
I don't know. I held up 3 thinking it was 3.
Well, it's episode 4. 4. And speaking of 4,
4 horsemen.
the 4 horsemen. Brennan and I are wrestling fans.
Who?
Brent.
Brent.
The hell did that come from?
I don't know. It's just quick and easy.
Is it a girl thing?
No.
Brand and I are wrestling fans, preferably WWF, WWE. There was a time in the past that WCW was part of the plan, but anyway, we've got a good show for you because this show is all about professional wrestling.
Yes.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
who's your favorite wrestler? All time. All time.
That's a tough question.
No, it's not.
Well, maybe not for you. I know who you're gonna pick.
You don't know who I'm going to pick.
I know who you're gonna
Who am I going to pick?
You're gonna go with Undertaker.
Well, of course I'm going to go with The Undertaker. The Phenom.
Who doesn't like
the Dead Man.
Yeah, but
the American
there are
Badass.
so many to choose from. I mean, obviously you go with the Taker, okay? But
Okay, how about this? Let's discuss top 5. Top 5 wrestlers.
my top 5?
Your top 5.
Okay, well, number 1, got to go with Ric Flair,
Okay.
the Nature Boy.
Okay. Ric Flair.
16-time world champion. Woo! The
Absolutely.
boss.
Absolutely.
The yardstick, the measuring stick.
Right.
Leader of the 4 horsemen. Been doing it for the 80s, since the 80s.
And what is it? Peacock's got that new
The documentary.
documentary out there. Really good. Learned a lot about his life that we didn't know.
That man had one hell of a life. If you got Peacock, go check it out. Becoming Ric Flair, I think it's what it's called.
He's still having an incredible life. Have you seen his wife?
She hot as shit.
Holy cow.
She hot as shit.
Wow.
And how about Charlotte Flair?
Yeah. What? The back of her hands are really cool.
They're really nice.
Yeah, she's got good back of her hands.
So number 1's got to be Ric Flair.
That's your number 1.
That's my number
I
1.
thought you were going to start at the bottom. You should start at the bottom.
Nope, I'm starting right at the top. I'm going top to bottom. Number 1 is Ric Flair.
All right, who's number 2?
Number 2 is probably going to have to be. Wow.
TikTok.
I'm going to go with Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. Okay. Latino Heat.
The Latino Heat. Yeah. I started back on Peacock watching the old WCW days. And once Monday Nitro started, he had already been wrestling for 10 years prior.
Yeah.
So that means he was in the NWO days.
Right.
Or NWA.
Well, Eddie, if you remember, was wrestling with his father.
Yes.
And his brother and his nephew.
Yes.
But Chavo didn't come around until after NWO had started going downhill.
No, actually, they're pushing him now. So you didn't watch the WCW too much. They are pushing him right now, in the middle of the WCW. And where I'm at right now in the old days, the Wolfpack and the NWO have now split.
You did this again.
I did this again. I'm thinking about Charlotte Flair in the back of her hands.
I'm not thinking about Charlotte Flair.
But I got to go with Eddie Guerrero.
I'm thinking about a sandwich.
I'm going to go with Eddie Guerrero.
Okay, Eddie Guerrero's number 2. Who's your number 3?
Number 3 is definitely going to be the Canadian crippler, Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit. Wow. A lot of controversy there.
Controversy there, yes, but still one of the best.
Agreed.
One of the best. And, of course, if I'm going with Eddie Guerrero, I got to go with the crippler because the two had one hell of a run throughout their years.
Yeah, best friends.
Best friends. They wrestled together. They did all kinds of things together, and it was just rowdy as shit.
Well, I read somewhere that it was because of Eddie's death, and then, what's her name?
Woman?
No, not woman. It wasn't woman. It wasn't. It wasn't
Nancy.
No, Sherry. Miss Sherry.
Okay.
The sensational Sherry.
Yes.
It was her death that put Chris over the top. I mean, and this is on top of all the other emotional stuff that he had going on.
Yeah.
But once Eddie died and then Sherry died, he kind of lost it.
Well, there's also things going around that said that because of his finishing move, the diving headbutt fucked up his brain a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of bruising, a lot of shifting, a lot of things
I would
going on.
imagine. I would imagine.
But he always gave his all no matter what. So,
Number 4.
number 4, Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah, can you smell it? It smells good. Just like that. Made the great transition from, being a cheese ball when he first came in, Rocky Maivia.
The Nation.
And
He
then
was in the Nation.
went into the Nation. That's when he kicked up that whole attitude with the eyebrow and thing, and people started mocking him, and he didn't like it, but then it caught on.
Right, because he wanted to be in charge of the Nation of Domination.
He wanted to be head of the
and
nation.
so him and Farouk they had troubles.
Him and Fork weren't having it.
Fork.
But then, after that split, then his stardom just took off. The eyebrow, jabroni drive, all that other stuff. It just skyrocketed, and he has been the only wrestler thus far to really transition into movies and make a huge success out of it.
Did you see what I just did?
No, what'd you do? Slip it into the mouth? Was it on video?
It's on video.
Gore. So, number 4 is going to obviously have to be The Rock.
The Rock. You know what my favorite Rock match is?
What's that?
It has to be WrestleMania.
Right, that one.
And between Rock and Stone Cold. Although close second would be Rock and Hogan.
But which Rock and Stone Cold? Is it
Stone Cold's
where he retires?
Stone Cold's retirement.
Great fucking match.
It's a great match.
That is a great match.
All right, number 5.
Number 5. I'm gonna go with another legend on number 5. I'm gonna go with Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, yeah. Only because the Spine Buster. Triple H's one of his prelude moves, the Spine Buster.
Sure, but
one of the leaders of the Four Horsemen, the Enforcer.
In my opinion, Arn Anderson was just nothing but talk.
He wasn't talking. That man was rough as fuck.
Every time he gets into the ring, he loses. Back in the 90s.
You mean in the Be Still times. Four Horsemen. Arn Anderson, there's my list.
I will give you this. Arn Anderson is probably one of the founders of the golden era of wrestling.
That's still up to debate because doesn't everybody praise the Attitude Era of WWE?
Well, sure, but this is pre-Attitude.
Right.
Arn Anderson, Double A was pre-Attitude. Once the Attitude Era was here, he was no longer wrestling.
No, actually, early on, even before the NWO started, he came out into the ring and said because of his neck injury, he had to retire.
Yeah.
And offered his enforcer spot to Curt Hennig, which was a flim-flam because Curt Hennig joined the NWO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then brought in his buddy, Rick Rude, which long after that died of an accidental overdose. Shenanigans. So there's my top 5. What's your top 5?
I'm starting at the bottom, though.
Okay.
I'm going to start at the bottom.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Perfect. Curt Hennig.
Curt Hennig.
In my opinion, I always liked watching him wrestle because he was a mat enthusiast.
It was.
The fisherman suplex and then the snap suplex.
The perfect plex.
The perfect plex. He was great. And I remember back in the day, before the whole WCW debacle.
Yeah.
Him and you just mentioned him. My
Rick Rude.
Rick Rude. Him and Rick Rude. They were it, man.
Yes. That was the team. Well, they grew up together and they knew each other because they were both from Minnesota.
Right.
They went to school together. They trained together. Both their fathers wrestled together.
I don't mean to interrupt, but let's do this. Let's have a live on-air cyst removal. I have a cyst on my elbow. It's right there. Let's do it live.
Not this time,
No, not right now.
because this isn't live. But follow us on the Brothership on Facebook, and we'll probably do it live. Anyways,
Anyway, number 4, the Big Red Machine, Kane,
Mayor Kane.
Glenn Jacobs. Love that guy. When he first came out, that was so great because you had heard about Undertaker's brother Kane, and you had heard all the stories and everything like that, and then first seeing him at well, it was a cage match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And Kane comes out and rips the door off. And literally, they talk about that. He actually did rip the door right off the cage.
Yeah.
That wasn't a
That
wasn't a
play.
work.
That wasn't a work. That was
He ripped the door right off. And I absolutely loved all of his stuff with the mask and all that. But as his character went on, yeah, he took the mask off. And he got kind of stagnant, but I still love his whole thing.
Well, also remember, before Kane came up, before Glenn Jacobs came out as Kane,
The Undertaker was Kane the Undertaker.
yes.
Yeah.
And there was also, he was, what was his name? He was the dentist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Isaac
Dr.
Yankem.
Isaac Yankem.
DDS. They had him put in those funky
Yeah,
ass teeth.
he had. Oh yeah, that was. He hated that.
He also did
hated
a
that.
small stint as Diesel.
He did. He did when. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But when Nash and Hall left, yeah, they had to bring him in as Diesel, and there was also somebody else as Razor Ramon.
Somebody else as Razor Ramon. I can't remember that.
I can't remember who that was. All right, number 3.
Yeah.
I got to go with Ric Flair.
Woo!
Ric Flair. Just total amount of respect for that guy. Everything that he's been through. Truly a godfather of the industry. I mean, you talk about Bruno Sammartino or Harley Race or all those other guys. Great, they did their thing. But Ric Flair revolutionized professional wrestling when he was in the NWA, and then
went to WWF.
for a small period of time, and then came back, and then went to WCW, and then went back to WWE. Just a whole lot of respect. Probably one of my favorite Ric Flair moments was right at the end.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
Is this ceremony?
Not the ceremony. It was the match.
The match was tough to watch. Yes,
Yeah.
but the ceremony.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough, man.
The
ceremony when Triple H brought everybody out, it got me right here.
that was pretty difficult to watch,
Yeah.
but that was super cool.
Super cool.
He is literally the man. He
Yeah.
was. It still is the man.
Hmm.
He put everybody over.
Oh, absolutely.
Did everybody the favor. Was happily able to help out the new guys, and did it happily.
For sure. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold.
You cannot have an Attitude Era without mentioning Stone Cold Steve Austin. He literally saved the WWF. If it wasn't for Stone Cold and The Rock, and Rock as well,
Rock is part of that as well.
and for his small part, McFoley was there too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But Stone Cold literally lifted the WWF and put him in prime time. And the whole beer drinking thing, there was nobody like him at all. And even to this day, I miss him.
For real.
I miss Stone Cold. And every now and then he comes back, and it's fun to see. But as a wrestling fan, it was fun. Even when he was a heel, and he was not a very good heel. He wasn't.
No,
You can tell he didn't like it.
It was bad. He liked playing the anti-hero.
But even then, it was still good.
Back in his early days in WCW, when he was, had hair, was part of the tag team.
Brian Pillman.
With Brian Pillman, the Loose Cannon.
Yeah.
Bischoff fired him.
He did. Bischoff fired him, and he went to ECW.
Yes, he did for
Well,
sure.
but he didn't do much in ECW.
No.
He did a promo. Paul Heyman had him do a promo, and I don't even know if he wrestled.
I don't think he did either because it wasn't that long after that he was in the WWE.
Bruce Pritchard called him.
Yep.
And brought him right in.
Yeah.
But they brought him in as well. First he started out. I can't remember how he started, but then he became the ringmaster.
Yes.
And he hated that. And he had the blonde hair. He hated it. And then the story goes, and I'm just paraphrasing here, that he was in his bathroom one day and he just decided he was hot, sweating all over the place, and he just shaved his head. And his wife, Deborah, said, "That's your look." And then he got the name Stone Cold Steve Austin from a serial killer that he said the word Stone Cold and he said, "That's it. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin." And he pitched it and they immediately went for it. And then I think he did that Austin 316 just said, "I whooped your ass."
To
King of the Ring.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
To Jake the Snake, right.
Jake the Snake was quoting Bible verses to him. And he had said, well, Austin 316
just whooped your ass.
Whooped your ass. Hysterical. But when he was in WCW, that was at, right before it became Nitro. So if he'd have stuck with that.
If he'd have stuck with WCW, he wouldn't be.
We wouldn't have Stone Cold.
We wouldn't have Stone Cold, and he would not have been anywhere near what he became. He wouldn't have, because right place, right time.
Thank you, Vince.
Right place, right time. You can hate on Vince McMahon as much as you want, but during that time, and all of the acquisitions and all the decisions that were made, not all of them were great, but once in a while he was a gold mine, and that was Stone Cold.
Obviously,
you ready for number one? So I remember watching. What was it? It was what was the pay-per-view? Was it Survivor Series? I believe it was Survivor Series.
It was Survivor Series when he came out with Brother Love.
With Brother Love. But that's not how he started.
No.
He was Mean Mark.
He was Mean Mark with the heart punch.
Yep. Mean Mark. Mark Calloway.
Yep.
The Undertaker. Right. And so he was trying so hard to get over. Trying so hard. Trying different things. And he was still working the circuits. And he would come in for the WWF with, small matches, but he just wasn't getting over. And I remember the conversation on the video that I saw that Vince had called him up. And as soon as Mark answered the phone, Vince went, "Is this the Undertaker?" And Mark just went, "Why, yes, it is." And then it was his history. I love everything he's ever done. Everything. When he was a heel, he was the greatest heel ever. When he was a face, he was the greatest face ever, and that was the American Badass. Coming down on the Harley. No, it wasn't a Harley.
No, it was a custom built.
But it was just great. And I, even to this day, I'm sorry, but as cliche as it is, you can't mention The Undertaker without mentioning Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. Everybody talks about that match. We went to go see Mick Foley around here in our parts.
We did.
And that was one of the matches he didn't want to talk about because everybody literally talked about it and asked him about it all the time. Yes. It was a plan to throw him off. But the one thing that wasn't planned was putting him through the cell.
Yeah, that wasn't planned.
That was not.
He was not. Well, he was supposed to come back, but he was not supposed to climb back up to the top of the cell. And then they're walking around, and as the Undertaker said, you could hear the chain breaking on the top of the cell. And he goes to choke slam him. He goes right through the top of the cell, lands on the mat, fucking tooth going right up his lip into his nose, and even then he starts pouring the tacks out. Oh my gosh. So honorable mention here to Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
Maybe I could put him in there at
Maybe a tie.
for a tie for probably. Oh wow, tie for third place.
Fair.
With Ric Flair.
Okay.
All
that
right.
works. That works.
Okay.
So let's get on to some recent news about the WWE.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I read today. We have heard already that Stephanie McMahon, who was the CEO, and from what I understand, she's done a great job, and she is loved by all of the talent in WWE. And her leaving has caused a few rifts.
One hell of an uproar.
And also, someone has come back to the board, one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Now, I sent this guy a text today saying Elon Musk just bought the WWE for what was it? $4 billion or something like that?
Didn't happen. Lots of rumors going around.
Right. But it was then that I just learned that this whole thing was put out as a distraction because rumor has it that Vince is selling the WWE to someone in Saudi Arabia.
Now, what it is, why he's probably going to be selling it to the people in Saudi Arabia, is because they are huge benefactors. There's a lot of money changing there because they do the Crown Jewel event where they go over there and wrestle. A lot of money is given to Vince for that.
Sure, that's great. I get it as a business thing, but
well,
you're going to lose your fan base. 100%. Also, you're going to lose your talent.
Probably.
You're going to lose your talent. Anybody worth anybody. I mean, Drew McIntyre, I read that he's gone.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is gone. I think it's just crazy. I think Vince needs to go home and stay there.
I think he needs to go back and be that genetic jackhammer.
No.
Get his mind right.
He's 77.
So what?
He's got to be done. I don't know why Stephanie left, but Paul, Triple H Levesque, is still in charge of the talent. But I don't know, man. I mean, I think Vince is getting a little
loopy upstairs.
Yeah, a little too much strutting around.
Let's also remember that this is the WWE and it's Vince. He knows how to make good work. All these rumors could be just rumors because he's, here he is. What's going on? What's going to happen? It could all just be rumors to spur up more people talking about the WWE.
I heard he was buying AEW.
That is still not yet to be a thing. One of the stockholders actually in WWE is the owner of AEW. So there are dealings there. Hands are being shook there.
Handle.
So, either way, Vince has literally monopolized sports entertainment today.
Satan.
Worship Stan.
Just a disclaimer, the Brothership does not promote devil worship at all. At all. At all.
Right.
But we do have a statue of Satan.
So, he's got his hands in every bit of wrestling there is. I wouldn't be surprised if he had scouts going to all the lesser known.
What is all this?
That's from
Is this brown cocaine?
It's brown cocaine. Don't touch it.
I'm not going to touch it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vince has scouts going to all the lesser, smaller, minor league schools and competition just to scoop up new players. So it wouldn't pass me that he is just running a big work.
Right. Well, a couple of years ago, Brend and I decided we were going to start watching wrestling again. So we started with the Attitude Era, 96.
Somewhere around in there, yeah.
And we'll watch every Raw and we watch every pay-per-view. Usually we can get through 2 Raws in a day. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of time on our hands. Then we're up to 2009 right now, right before WrestleMania in 2009. And I got to tell you.
The 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
I got to tell you, it's not like it used to be. there's a lot of things that we're watching, and I don't know. Sometimes I get bored, but I can remember 96 through 2000. We were never bored.
Never. Anytime you heard that glass break or Chris, that was, you lit up. You lit up. Nowadays, especially 2009, all the factions are gone, all the groups are gone, I mean, you got some low rent people coming in, the legacy, which
Johnny Morrison.
John Morrison, I'm sorry. I like John Morrison. When he was right now, he's kind of a doucher, but he gets into his own. But I had seen that there's a thing called the Bloodlines. I don't watch much of WWE nowadays, but the Bloodlines, which is Rey Mysterio.
It's on right now.
Yeah, but I meant like 2023 WWE.
No, but we're going to end up getting there.
The Bloodlines, which is Rey Mysterio and his family.
Right, because
his son, they're a faction now.
Dominic comes into wrestling.
Yes, he does. And there's also, Bray Wyatt as the Fiend and all his groups. So there are some factions building back.
There are some cool things going on, and I do like Drew McIntyre a lot.
I like Drew McIntyre.
I like Bray Wyatt. Who else is around?
Kofi Kingston's still around.
Kofi Kingston's
He's still doing a thing. There's a lot of new school players that you haven't seen yet that are just incredible. So we have to catch up, is what we're doing. We're catching up. We're trying to get to where, there's a new Raw. Well, we're going to watch the new Raw.
Right. So we're just reminiscing the old days, remembering, before I was married.
So don't forget, check us out on Facebook.
Still waiting for dick pics. From you. No, not from me. Anyway.
Check us out. It's facebook.com/ in space, there is no space. That'll take you to the Brothership on Facebook. Hit the like. Posting memes daily. It's hysterical.
Yeah, but not in that voice.
Kind of in that voice. Also, check out our store. Okay? The Brothership.
We have a store?
Yeah.
Wow.
myshopify.com. You should probably put that link right about here somewhere.
Right under there.
Yeah, probably somewhere around in there. Smash that. Okay, check out that. Go buy some gear. Also, check us out on TikTok. The Brothership. It's crazy. We're doing all kinds of crazy things. We don't post a lot of videos on there because our director isn't always around. But we do things on there too. Here's the other thing. Smash that subscription. Hit the bell. Do the thing.
There'll probably be a graphic right there where he put his fist.
Probably right there or something. Yeah, that's probably going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. This will be posted soon. Make sure you share it. Make sure you follow us.
Sure. You could win a car.
Say something interesting.
Something interesting. See you later.